Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Riverdale, Season 1, Episode 1. It's called Chapter 1, The River's Edge. Full spoilers. Oh, no, not full spoilers. I do this every time. We're going to start spoiler free because it's Episode 1. Everything after Episode 1 we do full spoilers. That's why I always accidentally say full spoilers.
One day, you're going to do that, and someone will go full spoilers and turn off instantly before they realize, before you correct yourself. And we're going to lose people.
I corrected that quickly there. That was a quick correction.
That one you did, but sometimes at some point, it's going to be too slow.
But we're going to start spoiler free, and we'll give you a warning halfway through before we jump into some spoilers. So this, of course, is based on the Archie comics to an extent. I don't think the plot is
no, just the characters,
the setting, that kind of thing. This is going for more of a murder mystery kind of slant on it. You've got your Twin Peaks elements sort of creeping in, and there's an actor from Twin Peaks in it as well, which I only just noticed when I looked up the cast. Shelley from Twin Peaks is Betty's mum, which is pretty cool. So what is Archie? Or Riverdale in this case? I will probably accidentally call it Archie a lot because that's what the book is called. So forgive me if I do that a lot. But so it's essentially a high school themed show where you have all your various characters. You have Archie, you have Betty, Veronica. They're kind of the original love triangle, of which all love triangles henceforth were kind of based on. And so as much as that might seem clear, although I think they did a couple of things with it in this episode to make it feel a little bit different.
They did, and it was the sort of thing where if it had been like really cliche, you'd forgive it because that's what their entire thing is and has been for decades.
Which can be a problem. Remember when the John Carter movie came out and everyone said this felt really cliche and derivative of every other sci-fi movie, and it was like every other sci-fi movie was inspired by the book.
Yeah, and it's really unfair.
But in that case, it really hurt it. Whereas here, I don't think it would have because it wasn't it's not the only thing going for it in this case.
Yeah.
So it's a teen drama with a murder mystery, and it's based on all these popular characters, and that's your kind of thing. As far as our expectations going in, I like the current run of Archie comics. I also like the Afterlife with Archie comics, which is Archie but with zombie apocalypse mixed in, which obviously this show wasn't going to be. Maybe a spin-off, get a summer thing or something.
I don't know. Obviously, from the show, we knew it was a murder mystery. I was half expecting, maybe there's a zombie.
Yeah, maybe.
I kind of wouldn't put it past it for it to have been there.
Wouldn't shock me, but so I was hopeful. I thought, this could be fun. It could, it kind of fits in the CW. Could be the right kind of thing.
And then we got a trailer.
And the trailer just about killed all my hype. I thought the trailer. Now again, I think I said at the time it could just be the way the trailer's cut. It could just be cut too fast. It's emphasizing all the wrong elements.
And we definitely pointed out we have been very wrong based on trailers before. See The Exorcist.
Yes. So we sometimes trailers can be misleading, especially us. Then in the last couple of days, some of the early reviews started coming out, and it was kind of positive. People were being kind of, 8 out of 10s, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were saying, it's kind of like Archie with a dash of Twin Peaks and a little bit of something else. Because, CW meets Twin Peaks with Archie characters was essentially what they were saying. And really, all right, kind of back on board.
Yeah, I mean, we really flip-flopped hard on this one because we went from, potential to this looks like garbage to, okay, I'm back in.
So how did we find the actual episode then? That's the real question. Where did we land actually having watched the pilot? I kind of liked it.
I do as well, but I kind of feel like almost bad for liking it. It's kind of got that, like, it's almost like, when you watch something trashy, it's like, I'm kind of enjoying this, but I shouldn't.
There's definitely trashy elements, but it's very stylized, which
it is
why you get away with it, because you're like, oh, well. And I think the other reason why it works to a good extent is that I really like some of the characters.
Me too.
And the actors playing the characters. Archie's okay. I was kind of worried about him. He seemed really bland in the trailers and stuff. He's definitely not the most interesting, but he's okay.
He's ginger, so I can identify.
He's a fake ginger. He's not really ginger.
He is, but they keep calling him ginger, and there's, so it counts.
I'm going to be honest, there was too many ginger in this.
There was quite a bit of ginger, even for me.
We had Blossom twins. We had their mum. There was ginger just left, right, and centre. I'm seeing red.
Yeah, literally.
All I could think was, you've got red on you the entire time. I was repeating Shaun of the Deadlines. It was insanity. But that gross miscalculation aside, I'm kidding. But who I really like though, both Betty and Veronica are really likable.
Yeah, and they're interesting as well, rather than just likable.
They are, yeah. Like Veronica, they've de-bitchified a little bit. She's not quite as awful to everyone at
But
first.
she's still got the edge.
She's still got the edge. You can still see the sort of the snooty richness is there, but she's making an effort not to be, well, Cheryl Blossom, who for the whole episode I was thinking was called Cherry Blossom.
I don't know why they didn't just call her that, to be honest.
Well, I think that's her name in the comics, but I think it's Cheryl that is. But I think it's just because Cherry just goes really well with the word Blossom that I just kept hearing that every time they said Cheryl.
Especially when she's a ginger.
Especially when she's a ginger. It all adds up. So if I accidentally call her Cherry, I'm warning you now, it may happen, and I'm not even going to apologise in the future. I'm doing it once now, but she interchangeable is Sherry and Cherry.
Cheryl and Cherry.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Now you've added in Sherry.
Cherry and Cheryl. See, it's hard.
It is.
So I'm warning you now, and she is a complete bitch, like total complete bitch. That's her character. She's the head of the cheerleading. That's her whole thing.
Very cliche in that sense.
We have the school band, which is Josie and the Pussycats. Obviously another popular set of characters. We have Jughead, who doesn't have his paper crown, but his like hat has got like the crown sort of cut out around it, so it's kind of faithful in that sense. Of course, Archie's Ginger, and Betty's the next door girl who's really likable and kind of the more sweet one.
Yeah.
And I think what made it interesting to me is their relationship. Is it felt like it was more about Betty and Veronica forming a bond in this episode than it was specifically either of them with Archie, even though that was there.
Yeah, there was like competition and friction based on it, but it was mostly in service of their bond. Throughout most of the
which
episode.
made it far more interesting. I do have some criticisms about the episode. I think there's some certain elements that felt really quickly paced, like more quickly paced than they should have been. The opening, because it almost with Jughead doing his narration, he's writing his article or whatever, and it was cutting through these shots of the town, just establishing shots. Here's like the main street in the town. Here's the lake. Here's the
town sign.
Yeah, town sign. Very Twin Peaks. All of that. It felt like all those shots were about a third of the length they should have been. It was cutting through them super quick, and I was like, "Oh, give me a minute to breathe all this in." You know?
I wonder if part of that is okay. We keep drawing this Twin Peaks comparison. Maybe it doesn't help that we're watching it at the minute, but they're clearly inspired by it, and the shots in Twin Peaks of those ones in the opening are so long and they take so much time that this feels even quicker than it should do.
Maybe, but I'm going to argue that my complaint isn't that they're much shorter than Twin Peaks. It's just that for regular shot pacing,
no, it's still
they're
that they're
quick.
short, but like I wonder if that adds to it that we feel like they should be even longer than normal.
But they should definitely be at least twice as long as what they are, because they cut through them far too quick. And it sets up a whole bunch of stuff. I don't think it's going into spoilers to say that Archie had a fling with a teacher over the summer. That's kind of early on. It's set up as part of the ongoing sort of themes that are in the episode. And I actually laugh because it sets up the whole, right, okay, so Cheryl Blossom, aka Cherry Blossom, she's a twin, and her brother, they went out together on a boat on the 4th of July, and he ended up dying, and she told this story about him falling in and drowning, which is especially weird given that he was on the swim team, I believe they mentioned. And that's kind of the setup. So we get that along with the town stuff, and then we get introduced to sort of the main three characters. The first time we see Betty, Veronica, Archie, all the rest of it. But I had to laugh because it cuts to the title screen after it reveals that Archie's banging a teacher. It's like, Archie's banging the hot teacher. Title.
Yeah, I know. It was like,
oh
yeah, you're here for the relationship drama.
So that amused me. Obviously, that's not the end of the whole mystery stuff. There's more of it throughout the episode, but that's more on the spoiler side of things. And yeah, I think the characters are likable, and I think that's what makes it work, and why I was kind of enjoying it. It is a bit trashy, but it is very stylized. There were simple little things like just a simple scene of Betty like listening to music in her room, and she was like dancing around, singing to it. It felt like very sort of teeny bopper in a good way.
And something right is it's really aware of how cliche it is. Like like you've got Kevin, who's the gay best friend, and like they reference how cliche and played out that is.
Yeah, someone calls him the gay best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like they're really aware of this, that they're playing with the tropes. So I like that.
Yeah, it's self-aware, which I think is a big thing. I think if it wasn't self-aware and if it was playing it completely straight, like like we were supposed to be impressed. You know, if it was the MacGyver of CW, we'd be a lot more down on it, I think. But
Yeah.
as it had a good energy. Sometimes it moved a little bit too quick, but it had a good energy. I liked most of the core characters.
A lot of pop songs in there.
And they all fit as well. I was never annoyed. I never felt like, oh, this is out of place. It always fit.
And then there
with
was
the
a
scene.
couple where I was like, oh yeah, this is really working.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not quite the same black comedy, but it feels kind of like Twin Peaks meets Archie with a bit of Scream Queens.
Yeah, Scream Queens, I was getting that kind of, it's just touching the edges of it. It's not quite,
Yeah.
oh, these are all awful. I got it a lot from Cheryl.
Yeah, she could be a Chanel. She feels like a
She could
Chanel. She could
That's
be.
another name. It's still with a CH.
Yeah. Chanel number 12 or 13, whatever number we're on.
I don't know.
Chanel number 13. That's the unlucky number, so she can be
She's just Chanel Red.
Chanel Red.
Why not?
Chanel Roses, or I don't know, what would the scent be?
Don't know.
Chanel Ginger Scum. There you go. That's what it's.
Fair.
So yeah, I think that's my spoiler-free review. I don't think I have anything else to add without spoilers, unless you've got something you want to.
No, just I actually enjoyed it more than I expected for the last few weeks.
Yeah, pleasant surprise. So
Yeah.
and I like that it gives us something on a Thursday night, and we watch so many shows from the CW at this point. It's kind of strange, but
It is, and this does feel like it's so CW.
it does. But it's got, like I say, the right amount of style and self-awareness of what it is, that it doesn't feel. And this could change. Maybe by episode like 4, we'll start to feel like great, and then it's like, oh, you're just doing all these tropes constantly, and it's never advancing.
Yeah,
But at
for
least
a first episode, it's fine.
Yeah, but at least right now, it feels like it's aware enough that I'm going to have fun with the characters and what, and it's got that high school teen thing. Although, by the way, they're supposed to be sophomores. I don't believe it for a goddamn second.
Yeah.
Seniors would be hard to swallow anyway, but sophomores?
I know.
Because they all act like Archie came back after the summer break, and he's like, just went through puberty over the summer, and he's like this fully grown man with abs.
I know, he's absolutely ripped.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. First of all, it's unrealistic that a ginger's in that much shape, right? That's just unrealistic. Have you seen yourself in the mirror, Connor?
I know I'm not in shape. I'm just trying to think if I can think of any gingers that are in shape.
I will warn you guys that because there's so many, and because Archie, who's effectively the lead, although he's in this show, I feel like it's not. I feel like it's more even in this show between him, Betty, and Veronica.
Yeah,
and
it's just we're conditioned to assume he's the lead,
and possibly Jughead as well. Once we properly
get into it,
we'll talk about why he's not in it as much in this first episode in the spoilers. But yeah, but because he's like a prominent character and he's ginger, and then you've got the evil ginger girl. I will be making ginger jokes on a weekly basis. I promise.
To be fair, we get him quite often anyway because he can't help himself.
True, but this is a
this had them making ginger jokes at him.
Yeah, they were
so it is fair.
Yeah,
like,
there's
no way of getting around.
Was it the gay best friend says? He says, "Oh, Unity tap that ginger headed or red headed pony,
ride the ginger bull,
ride the ginger." That was it. Ride the ginger bull. Oh god.
Or something like that. Yeah, there was a few, like scattered throughout.
Do you know what the worst thing is? I can just see you with your girlfriend, like tomorrow night, just you walking in and I'm going, right, it's time to ride the ginger bull, and then I hope she laughs at you. I really do.
I don't want to try it now.
You want to try it? You know you do. It's time to ride the ginger bull. Okay, let's go on to some spoilers then. So full spoilers for episode 1 of Riverdale, which is the first of 16 according to IMDb.
Okay. It makes sense as it's starting mid-season. Maybe a little bit more than I expected.
More? I would have expected 13 at most, but I'll take 16. That's cool. That means it should, even if it doesn't have any breaks, it should run till up to May.
I mean, we say we're surprised, but Legend started this time last year.
It did, but that was like the exception, though. I mean, obviously,
it was, but it's the exact
same.
It's the same night. I'd say same time slot, but they moved Supernatural to accommodate.
Yeah. Now they have done this twice, so yeah. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they do this again at some point next season. But yeah, let's talk about obviously plot details. Jughead obviously wasn't in a whole lot of this. They implied I actually liked how they did this, where they have Archie's looking for Betty towards the end of the episode after he's upset her at the dance, and we'll talk about that plot. But I liked how he sits down with Jughead, and Jughead gives him some info that he's looking for, and he just like he's talking about, oh, you can probably make it up if you just talk to her. Would have helped us. And I was like, oh, that was a really smart way to just get that in there. That they were friends, and now there's friction.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why, and I'm presuming we'll get that, but I thought that was for a show that was very obvious about a lot of things throughout. I thought that was a more of a subtle way to just bring it in.
I think, to be fair to it, there was a lot of sharp dialogue in that sense that told a lot.
Oh yeah, there was. The dialogue's very sharp. Very sharp. So yeah, the main plot of this one is that Betty's into Archie. Archie only sees her as the best friend, so she's in the friend zone. Which I read a comment online that the friend zone's a very dangerous place on the CW. Which really made me laugh.
It's not wrong though.
I won't tell you what CW show that made me think of specifically, but
I mean, there's a good. You can probably think of any of them.
Probably think of a few of them, but that was amusing. So she's like wanting to ask him to dance. She wants to tell him how she feels, and then Veronica shows up. Her father's not around. Her father's already been in trouble. For embezzlement and whatever else he is. But she obviously comes from a rich family. She's now slumming it. But she's nice to Betty. They get along, which is what kind of surprised me. Oh, we got our first Archiekins, because she calls Archie Archiekins in the comics a lot, like all the time, actually.
It was one of those, when she said it, I was almost surprised, because it's like not something that you'd expect in this day and age to be said.
Yeah, but it worked. It was in context. It was fine. After that, she makes Betty, like she sort of sticks up for Betty when Cherry, Cheryl, Ginger Girl, I'm going to call her like 5 different names every time I bring her up now, comes over to they're at lunch and they're all sitting down, and that's when we get the gay best friend crack and whatever else. And she's like, oh, you're trying it for cheerleaders as well, like we're both doing it. And she's like, oh, I actually do kind of want to do it, you know. Which, by the way, one of the sharp little bitchy comments that I liked from Cheryl was when she looked at her, what she was having for lunch, was like, "You've got a lot on your plate, right?" And I was like, "Oh, that was a really subtle fat joke. That was quality."
Well, I mean, good.
Clearly Betty is not fat in any way, shape, or form, but it was a really good little.
That did remind me that there was a lot of pop culture references, because there was one about her weight.
Yeah, there was 2. It was the same reference twice with Mad Men.
But obviously you had earlier on where they were talking about what's to do around here Sundays, thank God for HBO. Yeah,
so it's a very relevant, and Cheryl mentions like get me on Twitter and stuff. So obviously they're very much adapting it to the time period that we're in.
Which is why I think things like saying Archiekins stood out, because it was so now.
I still want it though.
I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying it stood out.
I think this is the show that can get away with doing some of the cheesier things mixed in with everything else, because it is self-aware and it is doing all that stuff. But they go to cheerleading, right, and they try out, and you know Cheryl's a bitch, and she tries to. We get a little backstory because Betty's sister dated her brother that died, and it ended badly. He was like a complete dick to her, but then their mother, you know, Betty's mother was even worse to her, and that ended up sending her off to a mental hospital. She's in constant therapy and whatnot. So that's a thing that's all been set up, and we get that Betty's mother's really controlling and is upset that she's a cheerleader now and whatnot. But she causes this confrontation, and Betty has to like fight back from like, you know, going apeshit on her, I guess. And it's like, oh, there's not enough fire, not enough passion, and it's like, oh, you've not seen her. And Veronica's like, you've not seen her finish yet. It's like, just trust me, Betty. And then she just starts making out with her. And I kind of loved it because of the music cue that came in with it. It appears like it was like, this is super cheesy and whatever. Like,
and they were aware of it where Cheryl's like, oh yeah, that hasn't the faux lesbian kiss, that hasn't been taboo since 1994. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it. We've seen this all before.
But what was funny is like, are they making this a proper triangle? Like, are we going to have like Betty and Veronica also been into each other? Like properly have a triangle where all three of them,
like a 3-way triangle.
Yeah, where all of them are like all attracted to each other.
That's how you've got to one up it, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was almost the impression I got with the music cue. Was they were really playing this as they're going to feel something here. This is a moment. So there was that. We got Josie and the Pussycats introduced. They played the dance they had. I don't know what this dance was for. It was the start of the school year, so I have no idea.
It was
welcome back dance.
I think it was a semi-formal welcome back. I don't know.
Something like Dear. We set up Archie's doing too much. He's trying to get into music. He's also doing football. He's also working for his dad at the construction company.
To be fair, he's only getting in music because he's banging the music teacher.
To be fair, he is assuring us that it's not because of that. It's because he wants to do the music, and there'll be none of that going on now. They've learned a lesson.
Because of course that's going to happen.
Because the big plot point, of course... Do you know what I loved, though, about that flashback at the start of the episode that showed you how it started? He's literally just walking down the street, putting on his shirt, and he's got the abs showing, and the teacher's got the sunglasses like down her nose like that, and she's drinking like a smoothie.
I want some of that.
Yeah, and she pulls over and goes completely cougar on him.
Yeah. Except for I also liked it was really amusing that it was set up beforehand. With the friends going, oh, did you go there and sleep with the cougars over the summer?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, he so did. But it was just... The only thing that kind of ruins it is that she looks like 2 years older than him. But other than that...
Just got to go with it, ain't you?
CW, never change. Everyone's attractive, because of course they are.
I feel like that was almost a reference, though, where, you know, like when they were talking about how Archie got ripped over summer, and like they were talking right at the start.
Yeah, it was
like, yeah, this is CW, everyone's got to be attractive.
Because in the comics, I don't think he's meant to be that. It's like, he's kind of goofy attractive, but he's not a hunk by any means. Like, he's not meant to be a hunk, and that's fine. So they set up this idea that they actually heard a gunshot on the morning that Cheryl's brother died, and they couldn't say anything because they'd have to explain why they were together, so they've kept quiet. But that's set up that there's more to the death. Which, by the way, Cheryl and her brother had some total incest-looking vibes.
Do you know what was really weird? Like, right at the start, I didn't think that they were brother. I don't think it dawned on me that they were brother and sister at first. Ginger-cest. Yeah. It just didn't dawn on me because of the way they were acting. It was proper coupley.
When they're having sex, it's gingerception. A ginger with a ginger. Oh, this is never getting old. A ginger with a ginger. Oh man.
Do you know what's the sad part is?
Yeah.
It's like, I was going to go, oh, you get away with this just because I'm ginger. So there's actually, but then I was like, it's gingers. No one cares. Everyone it's like, it's a free target.
Anyway, so they had this gunshot, and it's funny. Like, I think I kind of remember something from the comics, not about the murder, but about certain characters that I'm going to leave out just in case it is going to be something that's a reveal later.
Right.
I've not read a lot of Archie comics. I've been reading the current run. I've read the Afterlife stuff, like I said, to a point. But what will be interesting is if they introduce Sabrina at some point, because she is in the Archie universe. She's from Riverdale. This is, of course, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. If they want to go down that route where they actually have a witch, I mean, they could introduce her and have her not be a witch as well. They could just do that.
That's just wasted potential.
She could just have like the two ants and the cat and not actually be a witch if they wanted to. But hey, I wouldn't say no to a spin-off though. Give us a proper hour-long version of Sabrina.
I'd be down for that.
Talking cat.
CW it up.
Yeah. Even the cat's attractive. That's a silly comment. Cats are always adorable. You don't get it. There's such thing as an ugly cat. Anyway.
The aunts would be well fit though.
Sorry?
The aunts would be incredibly fit if it was CW.
Oh, of course, they'd be total cougars. They'd be wanting to bang Archie.
Yeah.
They'd be crossing over just so they could bang Archie. That'd be happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of banging, Moose, one of the jocks, who is not gay, there's a joke about how he's called Moose, but he's got more of a horse limb. And I love how him and gay best friend, who's named Kevin, by the way. I just keep calling him gay best friend because that's kind of how they kept referring to him as.
Yeah.
They go. This is when they find the body, of course, because they did a funeral without the body of Cheryl's brother, and they find the body with a gunshot. But they're going out there to skinny dip and participate in gay antics,
but not kiss.
Because he's one of those bros who's like, by the way, I'm not gay. Right, because he says that as they're going out to take their clothes off. He's like, that's fine, but if you were gay, what would you want to do? And I get the impression that he's the kind of bro who would be like, but this is no homo though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my dick's in your mouth, but no homo.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He's exactly that type of character, which again, kind of cliched, but they're aware of it, so they're having fun. Because even having gay best friend hit him back with, but if you were gay, what would you want to do right now?
Yeah, and then when he says like, everything but kissing, he's like, total closet case.
I think he says that he loves closet gays. I think that's the exact thing he
It's
says.
sort of like, yeah.
But again, fun. I mean, admittedly, I don't think I instantly like them as much as I do Betty and Veronica, but they're at least fun right now. They're funny. They're making me laugh, and they're
Definitely.
Betty and Veronica have a really interesting dynamic. So, of course, the end of the episode is the next morning. All the town are dragging the body out of the lake, and everyone's watching by. And I was like, why couldn't it be wrapped in plastic like Twin
I know. I
Peaks?
was just, you know, when they were clearly coming up to the body, it was like
Yeah.
I was very clear what's going on here. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's gonna be wrapped in plastic. They're gonna just do it, but
And it
then
wasn't.
they didn't.
Yeah. But it sets up the mystery, and that's cool. This was the other thing that I thought felt rushed, is to see as it was cutting around all the reactions of the town folk at the end. I just felt like it was cutting between them really quick, and then it cut to the title.
Yeah.
It's a little too quick. They could have just used another minute just to breathe and let all the shots linger a little bit. But
It ran fairly long though in general.
just a
it was
little,
like-
a few minutes.
Yeah.
But it could have used a little bit more time. Just that it could have used maybe another 5 minutes total, just to let a couple of things breathe, just
Yeah.
here or there. But otherwise, I don't have any super complaints. I think though, if you're going to enjoy this show, you have to be accepting of its good trash in a sense,
Yeah, definitely.
because it's not going to blow you away in other ways. But
But we're not really watching anything that trashy at the minute, so.
no, we're watching trash called Arrow, but we're not nothing
Well, yeah,
trashy.
yeah, but that's not trashy.
No, yeah. Well, it can be a little bit, but not.
Oh yeah, but it's not good trash. It's not enjoyable trashy because it's just bad.
Well, yeah.
It's the difference.
There's a difference. Oh dear. What have we what have we left out? I think we've covered everything.
There's a lot of relationships.
There's a lot of relationships. So obviously, we had 7 Minutes in Heaven. We had that scene with Archie and Veronica. And
Yeah.
They have their first kind of spark moment.
Yeah, obviously you got that. Then so obviously there's those three, but then obviously you've got Archie and the teacher. There's all sorts set up. You had was it Veronica's mum and Archie's dad
In the past,
in the past, yeah. But it's like okay, there's something there, and it was all there was a lot of those things where okay, there's things coming.
so that's obviously we also had the scene of Betty and Archie, like when they confront on the porch after
Yeah,
after he's upset at the dance because he doesn't kind of reciprocate the feelings of, oh, we could actually be a couple, which is what she's suggesting, which obviously upsets her. And it was played well enough where he's like, I love you, Betty, but I can't give you the answer you want. It's very friend zone, like I said.
Yeah.
Very in the friend zone, but obviously he's going to develop feelings at some point because it's a CW show, and of course he
and
is.
it's impossible to have a CW show without them all developing feelings for every other character.
Yes. So there you go. That's Riverdale episode 1. Surprisingly positive from us.
Yeah,
Some scene pacing issues at the start and the end specifically, and a couple of little nitpicks, but nothing super. I think for what the show is, it's hitting the nail pretty well on the head.
like you said, it's kind of channeling those vibes of things that we like you got Twin Peaks, you got Scream Queens. I was feeling maybe like Heathers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, a little bit of that in there. Teen stuff needs a bit of attitude for me, and obviously, like Buffy's like an example where it's more of an intelligent witty. No, this isn't intelligent, but I'm trying to differentiate between like Whedon and like a Scream Queen's Heathers.
Yeah.
This kind of vibe where it's kind of different, but it's got that core. It's kids in American high school, and you've got your factions and all that. But it seems much like Buffy in a way, though. You've got characters who probably shouldn't like each other, all being friends.
Yeah,
You've got that. It's kind of that cheap thing a lot of crappy horror movies do, where every group of friends in a horror movie have one guy as a hacker, one person who is this, one person who's that. You got the bitchy one, you got the nice one, you got the jock, you got the and token black guy, of course.
yeah.
So there you go. That's episode 1 of Riverdale. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot if you do. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. Individual Twitters, of course, for our personal ramblings that are on the screen. And that'll do. So thank you very much, and we will see you next time.